Good evening guys, I should probably start this video with a bit of an apology because I'm actually quite late to this news. Late last week it broke that Geovany Quenda will not be signing for Manchester United. In fact, he is yet another young winger making the move to Chelsea, and I think for United fans and the United recruitment team, I would imagine, that is quite a blow. I think most of us had him as our #1 wingback priority for this summer because of the fact that he's a winger profile, technically a really strong player, but also because he already has a connection with Ruben Amorim and therefore hopefully a tactical understanding with Ruben Amorim as well. So not to get Geovany Quenda is a real blow. However, I've been looking for alternatives. That's why this video is a little bit late. I was actually going to do a video on 5 different alternatives that United could look at, but I've actually got caught up on one player who I've been watching and I actually really like for this position. His name is, of course, you can probably see it in the title, is Tyler Dibling, currently playing for Southampton, and he might just be what we need for this role. Now, even mentioning Tyler Dibling as a wingback may be a controversial opinion, because previously in his career he's played as a right winger, or even at times as a 10. He's a player who plays really well in tight spaces, who manipulates the ball well in central areas. So why am I suggesting him as a wingback? Surely, for example, we could go Dibling as the right inside forward, Ahmad as the wingback in this position here. And yeah, we probably could do that in certain games, we could see that rotation, but I actually prefer the idea of Dibling a little bit deeper. And the reason for that is because I think physically this man is incredibly underrated, including by myself. I didn't realise physically how impressive this guy is for his age. He's tall, strong, and got really muscular legs, which means that, you know, physically he is ready for the Premier League. And this is also something which is quite nice about the signing. He's played in the Premier League, but he plays for a Southampton side which might be one of the worst of all time, so they're going to get relegated, which means Dibling is going to be Premier League proven and cheap. Not many of those players on the market, and young and a homegrown talent. You can see why I sort of got stuck on him as an option, right? Because he ticks a lot of the boxes of what we would need. But anyway, back to the wing-back position. Why do I think Tyler Dibling could play this position as opposed to the more centralised one? Now, for me, it's about his physical endurance when working with the ball. Actually, his ability to carry the ball, not just over 5-yard bursts, but over 40 yards, driving with the ball forward, not just past one player here, but actually past the next guy as well, and then still delivering a final action here. It's sort of, I'm going to make up a new term here, driving endurance. Probably not going to catch on, that term, but what I'm talking about is the ability to drive past someone, but not just to drive past one person, to then drive past the next person as well, and then the next person, and actually do this over the space of 30 to 40 yards. Not all wingers can do this. When we look at someone like Ahmad, for example, we all love him, right, by the way? He's Ahmad. What an amazing player. But when he picks the ball up in these positions, sometimes really effectively, he'll beat a player here and he'll beat another player. But sometimes what he has is, when he then actually gets to the final action in the final third, physically he's exhausted because he's just sprinted 30 yards. I mean, most people would be exhausted after that. And Ahmad at times can struggle with then the physicality in the final action, having done this much work. However, in the case of Dibling, he has endurance driving endurance. I don't even know what way around my own saying is meant to go. Driving endurance, we'll call it that. But anyway, what I'm talking about is this. I'll shut up for a second and actually look at the clip. We'll look at this clip using OnceAnalyzer, by the way. There will be a link to this in the description down below. It is an amazing video analysis software. We've been partnered with them for a long time now on this channel. So check the link out in the description to check out this analysis software looking at these video clips. This is a really nice tool that they've got. Anyway, Dibling here actually against Manchester United. Pretty good audition for him. Picks up the ball in his own half. And what he's going to do is go past Diogo Dalot. Now, what I like about Dibling, like I've said already, is the physicality. The ability to take physical contact, to receive physical contact, and actually be able to handle it. Although, just looking at this here, I probably shouldn't use the word take and receive when he's in that position. But actually what we're talking about here is the ability to sort of deal with that contact. Again, Premier League proven. He knows the intensity, the physicality of the league. And what I love here is he picks the ball up and he just goes. He doesn't even hesitate. He doesn't even think about it really. He just picks the ball up and he drives forward. You can see Diogo Dalot here trying to track back, trying to get him, but he can't. And that's quite impressive because Dalot is physically one of the most impressive players at Manchester United in terms of athleticism. So the fact that he doesn't even get close to Dibling here points to the fact that this is a man with an engine and an ability to drive over distance all the way into the final third. But I think what's important as well here, I made the point about Ahmad, about sometimes then struggling with the final action. What I love about Dibling here is, even after all this running, he still has the physical ability, the physical presence to just shrug off Diogo Dalot, who again is not an easy player to shrug off the ball in moments like this, but he shrugs him off really easily, and then also has the physicality still, the energy, if you like, in his legs still, but also the mental energy as well, to actually get good technique on his final shot as well. Now, it's not perfect, Andre Onana makes a good save, but I do think this is pointing to a potential wing-back option. So yes, he has previously played as more of a winger in his career, but this might just be a wing-back because of that ability to do things over large distances. He's not someone who only influences small spaces, he can do it over distance. Now, not only do I like the fact that Dibling can race up and down this side of the pitch for most of the game, particularly in an attacking sense, but I also like the work that he can do in slightly deeper positions, and we know that we need this from our wing-backs, particularly in this sort of weird system that we use, right, where Maguire, the middle centre-back, goes into midfield, causing our wing-backs to drop deeper into the first phase to try and get on the ball. This does mean that any wing-back we sign, unless the system changes, is going to have to be someone that can play with their back to goal. Can Dibling do that? Yes, if not, I wouldn't be suggesting him. Of course he can do this. And again, if we go to once-sport-analyser, we can see this. Although only just because the quality on the actual clip I found is quite poor, and he is in the distance, so you might have to kind of zoom in a little bit. But you can see him on the far side of the pitch, and you can see that he is taking the ball with his back to goal, and we know that because of the position of the defender, right? Defender trying to force Dibling back towards his own goal. What Dibling possesses here is, first of all, the physical capability, again, to use the contact, to feel the contact, but to still beat the player, before then spinning inside into this more central position, and then driving with the ball. We can also see it in this clip here, this time playing for the England youth team in an under-17 tournament, this time again on the right hand side, and of course clearly playing with his back to goal in a deep position. And more importantly, not just his back to goal, but his back to the opposition. Right, you can see where the defender is trying to deal with him. Now, what Dibling does on this occasion is he takes the ball on his back foot. Again, I haven't quite captured it very well here because the quality of the video was quite low, but Dibling receives the ball on his back foot. And what this does is it causes the defender to defend towards the touchline because he thinks Dibling is going to go that way. But what Dibling actually does is uses his first touch on that back foot that we just spoke about to actually spring the ball back the other way. So he sort of springs and turns. So he has adjusted the body weight, if you like, of the opposition defender. And then he spins inside the pitch. He spins inside the pitch and again has that power to carry forward. And this is something that United really need in the squad. Problem solvers from the wing-back position. This is why I like the idea of a winger in this position. By the way, apologies if you can hear a dog barking in the background. Sorry for that. But this is what we need in this position. Someone in this deeper area who can problem solve, and then like we've seen already, also offer us that ability to carry the ball over large distances into the final third. In terms of once in the final third, I think Dibling is quite an exciting young player, if not a little bit raw. And he shows signs of amazing creativity. He can cross with his left, like we can see here, or he can cross with his right foot, like we can see here. He is a two-footed player. His ball striking is pretty good, but he does need far more consistency with his actions. I think where I like him most is sort of drifting inside off of that left foot, coming inside into these positions and trying to link the play with other people. I can imagine as he moves inside, perhaps Ahmad then going round on the overlap. A little pattern like that could be really nice to watch, but what I also like is that it could work the other way as well. So we could see Ahmad pick the ball up and drive inside, whilst Dibling provides the width. If you can imagine the opposition in a back four, and you're this defender here, and you've got these two running at you, it's a long day for the left back because, I mean, how do you deal with this? Two players who can go both ways, can go inside, can go outside. Both of them can do it at any moment. They can dribble, they can carry the ball, and are also a legitimate goal threat, whilst also providing creativity. You've got the physicality of Dibling and the tight footwork of the pair of them. That's really tough for an opposition left back to try and deal with. And I think actually tactically it would make United quite a unique side in the Premier League. There's not many teams that play with two wingers on one side of the pitch. This is actually giving United the potential to try and do that. So for all the criticisms of Ruben Amorim's 3-4-3 formation being a little bit passive, a little bit cautious and all that, we could actually get two really exciting right wingers on the same side of the pitch, basically just causing complete carnage, combining in the final third. Now, like I said, particularly in the case of Dibling, he does need work on his end product. You can see in his numbers so far in the Premier League this season, there's a lot of promise in there, but he isn't actually producing amazing raw numbers. Although, of course, we do need to remember he is playing, like I said, for one of the worst Southampton teams in Premier League history, right at the bottom of the table. So he's not exactly playing in a great side that is dominant, but perhaps that in itself is a good sign. A player who is performing even in a pretty rough environment, which Dibling, mate, if you do come to Manchester United, get used to it. You know, having to perform in a struggling environment, he's going to need that. He's going to need that attribute. That experience at Southampton might actually come in handy, although hopefully United are higher up the table than 20th next year, I would hope. But I do think Tyler Dibling is a really nice player. I think he's got a lot of quality. He's certainly a player that I need to watch a lot more of. I've only really sort of started tuning in the past 7 days or so since the Quenda news broke. So I am still quite new to Dibling. There's a lot of work that I still need to do. So that's what I'm going to go do now, basically. I recommend that you guys do the same thing because he's good fun to watch. He's been really effective at times in the Premier League this season, but he does also have a lot of room for development. So I certainly think he's one to watch for Manchester United and for you guys and for me. So yeah, like I said, that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to watch even more of Dibling, and maybe, just maybe, we might return with another video in the summer should some sort of transfer news really heat up around this topic, which I get the feeling it will at some point. Maybe just because it's a player and Manchester United get linked with players. I'm not sure, but I get a feeling we are going to see more around this transfer rumour at some point. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Keep your eyes peeled for his performances in the Premier League. And also keep your eyes peeled for more videos coming to the channel soon. But in terms of today, right now, we're finished. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, get notifications on, and also look in the description for a load of different links, which I'm not going to bore you with right now. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next one.